Connect with Elliot in the morning on Twitter at EITM Online.
Please welcome Mr. Gavin Rossdale.
Thank you, thank you.
I apologize.
Why?
Well, Diane's got to do oral sex stories and masturbation stories. The man's just trying to show up and come in and have a nice day. I apologize.
He's early.
That's okay.
Dude, congratulations.
My band bush.
Congrats, man. The record, well,
Thank
not
you.
the record, but the single's out. You're off and running now.
Off and running now. It's amazing. It just I went through that that period when you finish it before it comes out. It's like I call it the honeymoon period. You know, you don't know what's the reaction is going to be like, and you're just living with the mixes and all that. And then it goes public, and then you lose it. It's like you hold it, and it just goes out and just gone. Now it belongs to everyone.
Now, are you one of those people during the honeymoon period where you'll go play it for like other musicians or producers or whatever it is, or is it just, you know what, when it's out, I don't want to deal with that in the honeymoon period?
Yeah, it really depends. You know, it depends. For some people, I love to play it for them, and then other times, I just kind of like know that I'm sitting on this record on my pocket on my phone, and that it's just gonna. You know, so I wait for the right time. Every now and again, I do that.
Is it still cool to hear your music on the radio, though?
Yeah, I cranked it up so much. I'm trying to work out how loud I should speak because I was like, I had it cranked in my ear, checking out how it sounds. It sounded great for me. So
before we go any further, I have to ask you one other thing that came up earlier, and we were talking about you. Back in the day, like when you were like parachute pants wearing, you know, as a kid. Did you wear any Diane? How would you?
There's like black.
Don't say her name, but like black bracelets and stuff
like that.
Black
like rubber band bracelets.
Yeah, I might have done.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
obviously.
I'm sure I did.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
You know, where you were like 30 of them.
Not 30. He wasn't wearing 30.
Some did.
But
not before I sold any records. I didn't.
No, but 3 maybe. No, but this is way before. Like before you're famous. Like you're just a kid running around high school.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Diane. Thank you. I took crap because obviously everybody did.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not just fame. Yeah. Well, you do have 2 bracelets now.
I took them off because
you're very kind like that.
They were bad for radio. I was clinking.
I didn't want to clank.
Everything is cool, but he's falling apart. The record's great, but he's falling apart. Screw those bolts up.
So when do we get the whole record?
October 21.
Right. So that's are you doing something big for the celebration?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, like a whole reissue of 16 Stone and a remaster and pictures and all that kind of stuff and a vinyl and loads of things about that. So yeah, it's going to be busy because we've got the record, going to have the 16 Stone.
Right.
And then we're going to go on tour, I guess, in January, I think like that. Or maybe at the end of the year, we'll do a few shows here and there if anyone asks us to play.
Right, okay.
So it'll be fun.
Well, if it's that easy, I'll ask you, you want to play a show?
Sure.
I mean, I'll sign that up right now. But it's kind of nice, though, because, I mean, you go back to, I feel like the last time you were in and we talked, it had been a long time since there was a record.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say, like, you were back in the cycle of doing it,
course.
but it's obviously it's not the weight that it was the last time.
Absolutely, and that's the idea. When I walked in through the building today, I was like, here we go again.
Right.
And it wasn't like, where do I go? I know where to go, straight down, left.
Sadly, yeah. This hasn't gotten any better. But was it kind of nice though to kind of get back into that? I don't want to say the pattern or the routine of it.
For sure, because also I did since I last saw you, I was basically on the road a lot,
right?
Most of the time, home sometimes, and then began to write, and now I'm back doing this. So it's cool. And I just had a whole period of time being at home and a whole different life where you go to the studio every day and you get into that zone. And now I'm out that studio, which I'm kind of pleased about because that was a minute. Wasn't so long, but it was just long hours. And now I'm out doing this. Same hours, different like end of the scale.
Right.
Like studio's like late till late, and the promo's like early till late.
Is studio time though? Is studio time like I know one of you have one in your house, so like going to the studio is like walking downstairs,
right?
But then like you also go to other studios to do the record. Is studio time is that like I imagine to be like awesome, almost like fraternity time? Not that there's not like real work going on, but it's like you're kind of just locked in a room and it's you and your boys and that's it.
Yeah, it's really good actually. Sometimes I even lock the door so the boys can't get in. Just change a few things. No, nothing. It's all the same. Perfect. No, yes, it's good fun and like because Gwen had the baby, had Apollo, so I thought it was a bit much to have all the guys come around, drum techs, drums, people, all that stuff. So we moved to, I did the writing at my studio, and then we went to about 3 or 4 studios, which was cool as well, because then I got to leave all week long. You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
How did bedtime go? Very generous of her. Very generous. So it's cool.
But the in one of the studios that, and I'm not like a big like studio guy, but the one of them I was reading about, it's Grohl's studio, right? But isn't it? It's all the old stuff that like he went and bought.
Yeah,
and, like, pulled out
what happened is that he did the movie Sound City,
right?
And what was weird is that we recorded the Sea of Memories on that board. We were the last band that recorded in Sound City on that board.
Were you really?
Yeah. So I said to him, I was like, "Whoa! I didn't even make the movie. I didn't make the cut. You know, I was messing around. You know." And he didn't realize. And then he moved that board to his studio 606 with Nick Raskulinecz, who's the guy that produced our record. Right. So he asked Dave if we could go and record this. So let's record it at 606, which is really it's an amazing studio, big complex that, you know, he deserves. And it's like hallowed ground and beautiful posters.
What makes it hallowed ground?
Because there's all the Foo Fighters memorabilia, Foo Fighters equipment, all the Nirvana pictures. Everyone who records there's like just friends of Dave. It's not a commercial studio, you know. It's
I
like
gotcha.
So, you know what I mean. You just feel like it's just a really generous thing for him to let us record there, and it sounds fantastic. So I did loads of stuff there. So that was really good. And then I recorded there's another studio in the Valley where the guy that was in wrote Ghostbusters, Ray Parker Jr.
Right.
And he's got this really cool studio in North Hollywood. So we went there.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Is he making a butt ton of money out of that studio?
I think studio business is the worst business to be in. If you know
So
what I
the
mean?
answer's
It's like
no.
being in the video rental business. You know, it's not a good one.
Is that just because you can do? I mean, you get people like you, obviously, who have a long history, who would have a studio at home.
Right.
But I would imagine with computers and technology that I don't want to say you don't need them, but it's got to be 1,000 times easier to do.
Hell yeah, way easier. And what they have there is they just love when people come in because, you know, as you say, technology is so cool now that you can just like you could make a record on your laptop if you want. You know what I mean? So it's a tricky business to be in. Don't go in it. Don't go there.
Okay, not a problem. But is that weird though? Like, is he literally running the studio? Like, do you walk in and go like, "Oh my God, it's Ghostbusters"?
Well, you got that theme
Although you're
in your
probably
head.
not starstruck by him like I would be.
Well, he wasn't there actually. He isn't there. I don't know if it still is his, but anyway, it's a real nice studio, so it's good fun.
Now, would you, if somebody were to walk into a studio with Gavin Rossdale, are you real anal in there, and like are you kind of a prick to be around, or is it pretty free flowing and everything's pretty good?
Yeah, I think it's a really bad idea to be a prick anywhere. You know what I mean?
Okay,
It doesn't get
that's fair.
So no, you have to be what it is. You have to be like really. You know, it's like be open and free, and then if you have to shut something down and make an opinion about something, generally you don't disagree about too much. And the other one is that it's like a war of attrition because you can keep saying, so if you want to go left and someone wants to go right, you go, sure, let's go right, let's keep going right, and then they don't show up the next day, then you take it back left generally. So, but you know, it's been really good, really collaborative record with the band and with we did Nick Raskulinecz did about 9 songs, and this guy Jay Baumgartner did 5. So it was good. It's good fun. You know, it was pretty straightforward actually.
Now, what kind of what kind of work routine is this? Where just on a day a guy doesn't show up and you're in making a record?
That doesn't really happen. Luckily, it's not too bad. Just everyone knows what they got to do, and it goes in. You know, you stagger it, so everyone does their bits at different times and stuff like that. And so everyone's into it. Yeah, not too many no shows.
That's not bad. Good for you. Good for you. Am I going to like the record?
You're gonna love it because it's really it's kind of like heavy and wide, but it's kind of super melodic. I don't know, it's strong. So I wanted Nick Raskulinecz because he does a lot of metal stuff,
right?
So that I didn't want to get any softness anywhere,
right? Wasn't he doing? I thought if I read correctly, he was doing Mastodon before Bush.
Yeah, he went from Mastodon to a super heavy band called Bush. So it was funny. It was good. You know, I was like, I'd be calling him in the studio with Mastodon. I'd say, sorry, am I interrupting you drinking blood or something? What are you guys doing? You got a little blood on your chin.
But is it? But is it a little bit by design? Is it? I don't want to say by design, but is it heavier?
Yeah, it is heavier. Yeah. We had so much fun, from doing all the live shows that we really wanted to be able to have songs that go in to the set and really make it happen. There's no function in us writing just a record with just songs. Those songs have to be able to infiltrate, have to move little things, not off the map, but they have to live next to that song. So it has to be nice and strong. And I also put lots of I began it with more kind of weird dark noises and effects, like garage electronics is what I keep calling it. So it's like a bit darker and weird. So it's not like programming, like, it's not a disco record.
Right, okay.
But it's kind of got like, weirder stuff, weird sounds on it and good loops and strange things. It's cool.
All
good
right.
mixture.
I'll listen for all the garage noises
it's
when
a
it comes
fusion.
out.
It's a confusion record.
And then, like you were saying, you'll go back out on the road eventually. But are you going to go out and do what'd you do last night? Like 300 nights or something like that?
Yes.
Like you guys were on the road forever.
Forever, yeah.
By the way, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, not if you're my wife. It wasn't. that was not my best work, But I lost the balance a little bit because I was so into it. I didn't, we had no expectations of what the reaction would be like to us coming back, and it was so good that just like super needy. We just were like, really, you like us? Yeah, let's go play for you.
So when that went number one,
yeah,
you were genuinely surprised?
Yeah, totally. Why? Yeah, of course. I didn't. Yeah, I'm English. Everything surprises me.
But I would just assume that. I mean, you've done this long enough, and you've sold so many records. I would just assume that. I guess you don't want to take that for granted. I'm not saying that. But I feel like there would almost be. I don't feel like I was surprised to see that it was a number one Bush record.
Yeah, but that's like that's your. Yeah, but it would be so weird if I thought that. I don't know. Wouldn't it be weird? That'd be weird. It'd be sort of like. In England, we call that flash. You'd be like sort of like full of it and thinking,
Oh, there's Gavin again, all full of flash. But I mean, when this one comes out, it's not like you're going to put out and go, well, this one will probably tank and this will be miserable.
No way. I think people are going to love it, and I'm really excited for people to hear it.
Right.
That's it. And I definitely know that. In the case of some people that want to listen to a whole record, it doesn't even let you down if you listen the whole way. You
love when somebody still does that, don't you?
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, yeah. I'm prepared to ring each of the 35 people. Take them out for dinner.
Does it bother you though, as a musician? Because I would assume would assume that you're very careful or it's very intentional, the flow of a record,
absolutely,
and how it goes song to song, and whether it tells a story or just musically how it goes along. That there's so much work and there's so much effort and everything that goes into that. That when somebody goes, no, I just bought 2 singles and that was it.
Yeah, well, the thing is that I realize that's what happens and I expect that, but it's a bit like, you might as well be prepared in case anybody wants to go deep into the record.
Right.
And the way I always look at it is that it's so easy to hear music nowadays. People get really upset about the streaming idea, for instance.
Right.
I was at Spotify yesterday.
Right.
Went to meet them up there. It's an unbelievable place. Beautiful offices.
How do they stay in business? I don't understand how they stay in business.
Because so many people listen to the songs of that 30% that they keep.
Right.
Right. I was thinking the same. I mean, I don't want to piss you guys off, but when you walk in, they have like drinks and food and everything is beautiful, all set up for those people. I'm sorry. Sour cream and onion. They don't have those.
That is a half-eaten bag of sour cream and onion.
Yeah, from Spotify.
Eat quick because they may be expired already. See, there's plenty of food, and that's real styrofoam you're drinking.
Yeah.
Please. Oh, there's Gavin with his flash again.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you're up talking to the people at Spotify.
No, so it's to them, and what they, when they show me the numbers of what people are listening, and we were also to Pandora as well.
Sure.
And you just see what the numbers are, and people listening, and the guys listening to your show. It's a lot of people. So you can that just it makes people like music more, and then when you can like fly around on your phone and get any song you want.
Sure.
And you listen through, it's just it's cool. I think that if you don't lose people, they'll just keep listening.
Right.
Listening.
Let me ask you this: was there a point in time where that idea would have pissed you off? Of they could just get it any way they want, anytime they want.
Yeah, it was a bit of a head head scratcher. Like, how's that going to work?
Right.
But then you realize that what it does in a weird way is it's kind of almost like it's figure of eight, goes back into music.
Right.
And just makes people like more and more into music. And then sometimes not everybody's up to speed with things like that. So the people that don't stream will buy the record, you know. So just, I don't know. I just don't like that idea of like being stuck in the past and like holding on to the past. Like, you know, I've got to hold on to Sunday. I'm sorry, it's Friday.
Right.
You know.
All I know is I'm buying the record because I understand you're going to call all 35 of us. And you will personally say hi. All right, let me do this. Let me take a quick break. Our buddy Gavin Rossdale is with us. The single, The Only Way Out, that's out and available now. Man on the Run will be out October the 21st. Let me take a quick break. More with Gavin next.
Elliot in the morning.
New record from Bush, Man on the Run, will be out October the 21st. The Only Way Out, the first single, that is out and available now. I want to go back to something that you said right before we went to the break, when you were talking about being on the road and doing 5,000 shows last year. But you started to say like things started to get a little out of balance.
Yeah, out of balance because I was away so much, you know, and if you do like 210 shows in a year, you figure that that's 210 nights you're not home. So I was like, I just had to.
Could I go on the? I'd kill to go on the road with you. Oh, please! That's 210 nights of not having to fight about you're too picky of an eater, you're not eating, you pissed the bed. No, I welcome that. I'd extend it to 364 days a year.
Man. Oh man.
No, but he got to the age though where they're getting easier, and then the baby.
Right? Yeah. Then we screwed it all up. That was Oops. Sorry about that. Hi. What's your name? I think he knows because he's really easy. He's like, "You sorry about that. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking."
Hey, is the story that went around true about you found out that you were going to have another one? Essentially, Gwen sent you an email.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, you have been on the road for a while. Yeah. I mean, if it's gotten to the point where I can't even call you to tell you we're having a kid. You know what? F you. I'll send you an email.
I'll Instagram you.
Is it rough, though? Starting over again? I mean, you were out of the woods.
Yeah,
dude.
I was so out of the woods. I was like, we got a stroller delivery. Wrong address. Oh, no, actually, that's the right address. No, it's all good.
Wow, they're so advanced now.
Yeah. It's all good. It's funny. It's just crazy. You know what I mean? It just shows you can't planning is no good. I don't mean family planning.
Right. But which
clearly is no good. But anyway, enough of that.
Hey, did you though back up? Aren't we at the 20-year anniversary of the first record?
Yeah.
That comes out. So back up before that, when you're still, pounding and thinking like, okay, I want to do this. Did you ever think it would end up like this?
No.
That 20 years later, it would look anything like this?
No, not at all. I was, it's been reminding me of the story that when that record was first done, we lost the distribution deal. We made the record, and then we lost the distribution deal because there was a tragedy. The guy that signed us for the distribution was killed in a helicopter crash. Super tragedy. So then that record went down to the next people on that at Hollywood Records. They just, and they said about 16 Stone, not only are there no singles and no album tracks on this record, and they dropped it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. So I was like, okay, so I went back to work and I was painting 11 offices, dentist offices, and you use they're all exactly the same shape, and magnolia was the color, which is like this sort of weird, I don't know if you have it here, it's like a peachy, it's like peach, it's like the cheapest one you can get so you don't have to paint again for a long time.
Right.
And so 11 of them in one in a row is like a Kafka nightmare. And I was in the middle of about 7 or 8 in, and that's when I found out that then they said, the record's being played over in America, and you're going to go over there and do that. And I was, so I had already given up the idea that the record was going to come out. I was like, well, at least I made it. At least I made a physical record.
Right.
And now I'm back at work, and that's my life.
Had you really? So at that point, you're sitting there painting offices, and at that point you were like, well, all right, I'll always have this one record to hold on to.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yep. And I remember it was up. Yeah, I know exactly where it is in London and all that stuff. So yeah, I had no idea that I'd be here in Washington finishing your chips.
I wasn't exactly referring to this moment as
But
what 20
mean,
years would do. But like even in your wildest fantasy, when you're in making the record,
yeah,
and you're
never,
thinking, you
no
know
way.
what, one day I'm going to make it. Did it ever in a fantasy get that big?
No, because I didn't know that it could. You know what I mean? I didn't know that it could.
Right.
And the way that it was in England, that was the height of Britpop. And I was in a rock band in London, and I just was thinking I knew it was the worst commercial idea to play music like that in London. And
so like what was like when you say Britpop, like what were you surrounded by at that point?
Blur, Oasis.
Oh, okay.
You know, Suede.
Right.
You know, those big, you know, the Pulp. You know, that kind of thing.
Right, and then you have
Those
your little
kind of
rock
bands.
band, and
Yeah.
it's like, sorry.
Yeah. Bit loud, sorry. Next. Too loud.
So everything kind of broke out of America then.
Yeah, 100%. Like my favorite band is the Pixies, and the Pixies did it the other way around. They're from Boston, and they came to England. So I was like, well, there's some kind of synchronicity there. I like it. I'll follow that path. You know, take that leap.
And then the other thing that was awesome, you and Diane were talking during the break that, you know, so now you're 20 years in after that, and obviously playing before that, but still take guitar lessons. Yeah,
well, you know, it's a lot to learn. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Is that common though, for
I don't
somebody
know.
who's been so well established, who would still say, "Oh, I still need to work
Well,
on
yeah,
this."
but the thing is, I'm a songwriter, and I'm a rhythm guitar player. So just when guys shred and they play all different things, and they move around the guitar like it's effortless and flows around, you know, that's a special thing. So I'm just trying to get there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's just, I don't know, it's just something to do. But I do it in French as well, so I only understand about half of it.
I'm sorry, you do it in...
I do it in French. He's French, so I like speaking French. So I've practiced my French, but it's not perfect.
I hate everything about you.
No,
I
but
swear to God.
what I'm saying is
good
that
looking, you're a rock star, you speak French. Jesus
What I'm saying is
Are
that
you healthy?
because no, I don't. Because what I'm saying is that I only understand about half of it. If I did it in English, I'd be a lot better at guitar. But I do it in French.
Okay, but you're still speaking half French. I can't even do that. And God damn it, I was born in
Is
Montreal, and I
that
can't do
because
that.
you want your French to be better too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, please. Oh.
What? I
What?
mean,
You working on yourself?
there's a lot of work to be done, Diane. Let me tell you.
Why can't you just be a schlub like the rest of us? Please.
I am.
You don't eat healthy?
Look at him.
I do eat healthy, except I basically got a diet of like a lion with a sweet tooth, you know. So I eat very meat centric diet and chocolate.
Okay, all right, that makes
Not usually at
sense.
the same time.
Wait,
Unless I'm
hold
in
on.
Mexico.
What was because Diane pulled out a picture that I was going to hold on to. It was a really fat picture of you. Damn it, maybe I lost it. Of you
Good.
like walking around on a beach
It's
somewhere.
just one of the many paparazzi shots of you guys on the beach.
Oh, you mean those beautiful family days with 15 strangers to my right?
God, how long is that lens?
Not very long. They're just right there.
Are they really literally standing right next to you?
They sit outside our house, so they drive wherever you go.
Okay, but at least
Wherever you go.
I don't want to say like that's fine, but at least at your house you got a door. I'm assuming you got like one or two bushes that like maybe block something.
Yeah.
But like you go outside, like you'll see some pictures sometimes of somebody famous, like you're saying, walking on a beach, and so you just see the picture of them.
Right.
But then somebody takes like a wide angle shot, and it's a picture of the famous person and like 8 camera guys, and like you said, literally walking right next to you.
Yeah, I mean, it just is the way that it is. You know, I mean, people get really upset about it. I went to see those pictures I think from Malibu last weekend, and we went to see someone out there, and everyone else gets really angry about it. You know, it really pisses everyone off. They go over and everyone like argues with them, but I see those guys every day, so I'm just, you know, I say hi. There's nothing I can do because there's physically nothing you can do.
Right.
And the only time it's useful, I'll tell you, is that when you're in traffic, is they follow behind you, and they'll keep both lanes behind you, and you can switch lanes all you like, which really upset Californians. They get really mad. They're really terrible drivers there. And if you switch lanes, they go crazy. So they're always behind you. So you can just make, I should have gone left, but it's cool because they hold the traffic up for you. So it's cool. It's like a weird procession. And they got really fast cars now. So you used to be able to outrun them, but now you can't outrun them because they the demand for those pictures of of my kids is really high.
I was just saying, does that part piss you off though? Like I get you're famous and I get Gwen's
I went to I was
famous.
at a dog park the other day, and one of my boys, both my boys, and one of them went up the top, and they were sitting on the thing, and they were shooting them. And as I walked up, I was like, guys, he's 6 years old. Well, leave the kid alone already. It's like creepy. You're a grown man. Leave that kid alone. So they go, sorry, Gavin, like that. But I mean,
sorry, Gavin, now get out of the way because I'm missing a good picture.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like until that demand goes down, you know what I mean? They'll always be taking them. So, and there's nothing you can do. They try to do that whole thing, and they try to get Gwen involved about standing up to the paparazzi and basically making a stand about this, about them shooting the children, how they shouldn't do that. And because in England you're not allowed to shoot the children. So if you see them in the English magazines, all the kids' faces are blurred out. But I don't know, here it's a bit more free for all.
Right.
But it's a bit like, what are you going to do? Holding I don't know what you're going to do. So might as well just deal with it.
Do the but like at not the 6-month-old, I'm sure is probably pretty naive to the whole thing. But do the older ones obviously know that both parents are famous.
Yeah,
and
they go through.
stars.
Well, they go through different spells, which is really awkward because they go sometimes from where they think that it's really weird, like it's really weird or creepy. Then they'll think. Then they go through the sympathetic stage. They learn to be a little bit of compassion, which is weird because normally the kids are just
right.
Be nice to them. Don't like they used to see a homeless person. They say, please give them some money. You got to help them. Or they see, no, they're just doing their job. They're just doing their job, and then they'll be mad at them. So as they grow, they have different perceptions of them. You know what I mean? In different ways as they kind of deal with them.
But what about just in general? Like obviously knowing that both parents are famous, but like will they go like if they'll hear one of your songs, like at any point they're going to go like, oh please no please where's Iggy? I'll take some of that, or are they totally into your music?
Oh, I think they like it. They like it because it's just sort of familiar to them. The only thing that's a bit weird is that it's a bit normal for them. You know what I mean? It seems to be strange.
I guess so.
Because they kind of take it in their stride, and you kind of wonder how that is. Like if the eldest one's got been photographed since he was 9 days old, you just kind of, where does that go? He's like 8. It's just weird. Where's the psychology? Where's he going to be? Like one day they will not photograph him, and then he's going to be like, what happened?
Well, God, this sucks. What did I do?
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's the only troubled thing about it, is that it's a bit weird where we're a test experiment now, because we're like, everything is so new for everyone the whole time, right? The world keeps changing so quick that we don't know what the effect is, but I don't ever really complain about it. Some people get really mad about that stuff.
How much more does it change now that you're getting ready to be a big TV star also?
Well, definitely for the wife, that's going to be crazy. She's incredible on that, so it's going to be really mad, I think.
Now, for the voice, obviously for the wife, that's what I'll call her now. That she's doing the show. I guess she took over for Christina.
Yeah.
And then you'll work as a mentor.
I did it already.
Yeah, I mean it's
it,
taped.
Yeah,
I mean we haven't seen it yet.
Right. Me neither.
Was it fun?
It was really fun, actually. People have been surprised or been asking me about it a lot. Like, is it weird for me the way that that I came up through playing in clubs and all that stuff? And is it weird that you basically you go on these it's a talent show, it's a singing talent show, and it's not weird at all, because when you go in the room and you see those people, they're just these people that love singing, they love music, they've really worked hard at singing, they're really good singers, they sound great, and they're just trying to figure out a way to get ahead. They ain't done nothing wrong, they don't hurt no one, so I'm not mad at them, and it's a really fun experience.
Were you hesitant to do it at all?
Well, it's weird because no one really asked me to do it. It just sort of came about.
Would you just show up one day and be like, you know what? Let me work with this one.
Yeah, no, it was just, I don't know. It was just with my manager, and I just sort of came around, and I was like, well, of course I would do that. It's incredible. It's hard. It's hard enough to get people to know what you're doing. Right. So if you can go on a show like that. It's an incredible platform. And I was like, yeah, that'd be amazing. Great. Where do I go? So it was okay. The other thing was I found myself like on the second day, I was like opinioned out halfway through. I was like, I'm done with opinions. I don't know what I think. I can't even think straight. All I've been doing is telling you what I think. And like, I have a finite number of opinions in a week, you know, and I had to give so many in 2 days. That was like a month's worth, you know?
But is it? But I mean, from the standpoint of like you're giving opinions. I mean, you're just telling them do this better. I mean, you're not at that point. I'm assuming you're not just looking at somebody going, you should really leave and go paint an office because this is going nowhere.
No,
for
no,
you.
they were. Well, first off, these all the contestants.
Well, that's true. By the time they get to you, it's not.
Through thousands. They're all very good.
Right.
They're all really good singers. No, I was more worried they'd be like, thanks for the advice, but I'm cool. I heard your records. You know? You know, what if they say that? So I was like, you know. And all I could do was that thing where I just, you know, it's just the one thing that was just easy for me to do would be like, how about just singing the melody, none of the runs? You know, it was pretty good when they wrote it. When the Beatles wrote it, it was pretty good. You really are improving, John Lennon. Not yet. You might, but not yet.
All right, let me do this. Let me take a break. We'll come back a little bit more with Gavin Rossdale next.
Elliot in the morning.
Gavin Rossdale is with us. New Bush record comes out October the 21st called Man on the Run. The single, The Only Way Out, is out and available now. What were you listening so intently to at the beginning when this started?
Well, I couldn't tell what it was. And then I was like, oh, I know that guitar tone. Then I was thinking, oh, is that version? Then I was waiting for Gwen to come in, and I was just, you know, just smiling at Gwen singing that and how that all was, and you know, rehearsing.
God, you are so much better husband than I am.
Rehearsing it the night before in our kitchen, and like, just, it was funny, you know, because if you don't work with your wife and then you do work with her, and she was quite serious when we were rehearsing, because I'd come in from a show and I didn't want to sing anymore, and she's like, no, we got to do this song, because obviously she had to sing it, so I had to rehearse it with her. And it got really serious really quickly. And then her friend Sophie was there, who's her best friend, who's a video director. She was critiquing it. I was like, wow, I felt like they're ganging up on me in the kitchen. I was like, guys, I'm just, you know. But it was cool. And it made me smile hearing the crowd when she comes on. You know, people had lost their mind.
Yeah, last night in my kitchen with my wife, I asked if I could have the extra drumstick from Popeyes that I picked up on the way home. And she was very critical about my eating that much, so I can see it's very, very similar. I can see where it's like that. Now, will you guys sit down, like when the voice starts airing? Will you sit down and watch it? Will the two of you sit and watch it together, or
yeah?
Well, I
mean, for sure. I think I'll wince and just blink. I don't like watching myself on screen, so that I don't by that watching myself. But for sure, her, of course, we'll watch it and look forward to it. It's going to be really intense. But I've seen the adverts, like everyone.
Yeah, sure.
And it's such high production. They make such great show that I think she's going to be great on it.
Now, why do you wince? I'm sure she'll be great, but I feel like you're very quick to go like, I don't want to watch me. I may not be that good on it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't like it. You know, I wince at that stuff. I don't. You know, some people like to see themselves doing stuff, and some people don't. I know. I'm not a fan of that.
What about like when you like listening back to that, and like you were saying, like you were listening to hear what version it was, and then Gwen comes in. Do you like hearing yourself?
Yeah, I was just checking my tuning. I was like, how did I sing that? You know, and yeah, that sometimes, you know, sometimes you can get this live. You know, it's hardest on singers. You know, it's real hard on singers. But no, I got away with that one. It's cool.
The guitar was fair. I'm glad you're taking lessons. I listen for that really when the song is going.
Yeah, actually having her on stage, it did remind me exactly that time. I was thinking, you know, with a guitar, you're always like, you know, you're one fret away from failure.
You know? I'll take your word for it.
So I was suddenly thinking, I did get suddenly nervous. You know, it made me nervous to think that she was going to come out on stage and I was playing the guitar and there was nothing else. And if I screwed up, we were both going down. That was not a good feeling. I didn't like that feeling.
How often do you get nervous when you go on stage? And I don't mean like nervous, like anxious nervous of an every night show.
Yeah, I think that you get that adrenaline, the adrenaline pumping. So it's a weird kind of thing that is. I just get on the day of the show. It makes me really quiet because I know I've got to sing so much. So it's not so much nerves as like kind of trying to get focused. And I'm not uptight or anything, so I can have anyone in the dressing room. I don't have to pray to a mantle or something like that, do my Buddhist tenets or something, I'm fine. But I have a little process how to warm up. I've got to, warm up my voice and drink a Stella, stretch a bit, maybe a shot of tequila, and then I'm ready to go. And then when I go out on stage, then it all settles in. Then I'm into it.
Oh, take out the stretching. That part sounds okay. The Stella, the tequila, that part seems okay.
Yeah.
The other thing I loved yesterday, I think you tweeted yesterday that you were taking the train down from New York.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
cool.
awesome. I love
great.
that you did that.
That's my favorite way to travel. I was on the way over with my manager. I was like, man, we should do an Amtrak tour. Just play places only we can get to by train. The show will be delayed by 4 hours.
Now, did you go Excel or were you Northeast Regional?
I came from New York City.
Right.
Excel,
okay.
Excel, baby.
Right. Yeah,
Excel.
No, you know what? You've earned that right. You've earned that right.
Oh, is that why?
Well, it's
quicker.
Fewer stops than taking like the Northeast Regional. So you only have to stop in like Newark as opposed to 10 other cities around it.
But the funny thing was you can't.
Do people just walk by the whole time going like, I think I'm going to go to the cafe car again. Gavin Rossdale, Gavin Rossdale.
I did meet Laverne, was the lovely the one of the ticket girl on the train. Was really nice. She asked me, did I give autographs? I was like, all I thought was like, how weird are you going to ask me that? Because how stuck up has someone got to be know that she's already asked someone that said no? She goes, which camp are you in? Are you in the yes camp or the no camp? I was like, it's the Laverne of all Lavernes. What I wrote.
Generally, I would, but not when I'm traveling Amtrak.
Yeah, and not when you spell Laverne in a weird way like that.
Also, why didn't I feel like I didn't see you during the U.S. Open.
Because I made it to the semi-final, and then I saw one match, the semi-final. I was hoping to see the final as well.
Didn't you think when Novak lost early, weren't you like,
yeah,
here we go?
I couldn't help it, but I was like, that's good. We like that because he's tricky.
Oh, that's beyond good. That's great. I was celebrating when Djokovic lost.
Yeah, and he's also beaten Cilic 10 times and lost to him never.
Yeah, never lost to him.
Statistically, it was looking good.
Oh, statistically, I was writing checks.
And the first two balls of the match, he was great, really heavy exchanges, and I was like, where I was sitting, and I saw the power and the speed, but I saw that Roger was really handling it well. So the first two balls, I was like, this is okay, this is cool, unbelievable how I can handle that, and then the heavens opened and the rain came down, and it just was not so much about Roger, but just the Cilic played such an incredible match.
He can serve like such a beast.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
They call it serving out of a tree, I think is the phrase that they use in the tennis world. And so, it was it was just a bit like, because in tennis, you're always waiting for the best thing about tennis, why I like it, even though it's a funny sport to some people. What I like about it is that it's never over because there's always these twists and turns in it. Okay?
Sure.
So someone can be winning and then bang, just when you think you can't coast in that sport, you got to knock someone out. It's like an Irish drunk. They're always going to get back up. There's always a chance that, and but this turn never came. And even in the last game, it's like no one is going to go third set 5-4 serving against a Grand Slam champion. You have a few wobbles,
right?
Negative 3 aces and impossible serving. Just didn't end. It was like he had an Uzi. He was like playing with an Uzi.
Because you back up 2 days before that, he's down 2 sets, and then in the fourth set, he's at match point twice.
Right.
And the first time it came over, and I mean, listen, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. They start getting to 30 is over the hill in tennis. Now he's 33. It's been a while since we've won a major, and then he's down 2 sets, and in the back of your mind you're going, and listen, I don't know the guy, but you're going
except he's got the most wins of any player on the tour this year. He's won more times than anyone else.
Right.
So he's won more matches than anyone else, but he's lost in 2 big finals, but he's been the guy in the finals. You know what I mean? It's so weird. Terrible year. He's lost in both, major finals. For any other people, that would be like the highlight of their careers. But he set the bar so high that if you lose in a Grand Slam final, screwed up. On the way out.
But do you know him well enough to where you would have talked to him where he would go like, yeah, okay, you're down 2 sets? Because I feel like I would look at that and go, that mountain is so steep to climb. Yeah. But does that not even enter his mindset where it's like, okay, I'm down 2 sets here, I'm just going to be out in the sun a little longer?
Yeah, I think that I don't know exactly inside his brain, but I think that the mark of all those champions or all those great players in any sport really is the ability to be a goldfish and shake off what would take us down. We'd be sitting on the side wanting to punch ourselves in the face. But true champions just forget that happened. They're like goldfish, and they go, what sets?
Right.
Oh, we're playing a set, let's do it. And they just go forward, and they don't, most people drag all that stuff with them, that debris with them, and you'll sink. But I think true champions, which I'm not, but I've seen a couple.
I was just going to say, I'm sinking.
No,
I'm definitely sinking.
Me too. But those guys in those rarefied air of those champions in any sport, I think they just can shake it off and just play their best and just forget that they were beaten recently in a match.
Is he a prick to be around afterwards, though? Because I imagine he's never in a bad mood. Angry, but never in a bad mood. Like he would never be an a-hole about something like that. No, that's the other thing. No, no, he wasn't. He was cool. There's nothing to discuss afterwards. So, right.
There's nothing to talk about. You just talk about other stuff. So it doesn't go. And again, that's to do with.
See, I couldn't do that. I would just go in and talk about how awesome he is. I would just be like, Roger, you're the greatest thing that ever happened to tennis. Let's talk more about you, Roger. Please, let's just keep this going. But let me ask you this though, like you'll talk about Federer losing 2 cents and shaking everything off in a true champion. If you go out for a show one night, so everybody's like, well, please welcome Bush, and you guys walk out on stage, and for whatever reason, first song doesn't go right. Are you able to shake that off, or does that gnaw at you the whole set or the during the whole show?
Yeah, it can gnaw. Yeah, well, I'll try not to let it bug me, but it gets me. It puts you off, and but you can't. Yeah, you got to shake that off. I mean, I don't have too many things go wrong. I was having this really weird spell on tour. I played this one stage. It's really, sometimes you play these weird stages, right? They're made of wood, and you get this bass resonance thing. And there's a time when I was starting to sing, I sang Glycerine at a few shows, and I lost all the tuning. Like the guitar sounded like a sitar that's out of tune, and because you get these weird frequencies, and it feels like you're falling down into a black hole,
right?
And it's shocking. So all I could do in those situations is I just stopped playing guitar. Then I can tune, then I can pitch. But there was and I don't know what was happening, and what was going on is that the crew, everyone was like, I know behind my back we're going, he's losing it, it's the drink, it's the tequila, it's whatever it is, he's losing his mind, God, remember when he used to be good? And I knew that was happening. So every time I came to sing that song, it literally happened for about 4 or 5 shows straight, that I would start the song, and suddenly I just could not hear the note, and my pitch is fine. And I'd get off stage, and I'd have a real wobble with it, and I'd sing it a cappella, just let the guitar go, and then it'd be fine, because then I just didn't have to be in tune with anything except myself.
Right.
I'd run off stage, and I'd go into my bus, and I'd play Glycerine, just me acoustically, and I'd sing it fine. It was like this conundrum. It was like this weird thing, and I think it was that I just played 3 or 4 stages in a row where you get these strange, as I say, these strange frequencies, and that they don't disappear. So what happens is that they trap a note, and so you're singing the next note, or the guitar's playing the next note, but the previous note is also going with it. So suddenly there's nothing to hold on to. It's like you falling down a chute.
Dude, that is the weirdest thing ever.
It was trust me. And I knew, and I could tell everyone be whispering with my crew. I'd come off stage and they'd stop talking when I'd come in the room. And that was making me fall further.
Right.
And then when the song would come into, because then when it was a nightmare. It was about 4 or 5 days. And so
but then you get beyond that, and then you're on a different stage where that's not the same
done.
wood, and everything's fine.
Everything's gone. And then it's like a mirage. And then and then I want to go around to all the crew and say, I know what you're saying, but
Dude, that is the weirdest thing. I've never heard anything like that in my life.
Yeah, nor had I.
That's
Trust
the craziest
me.
thing. All right, last thing, and then I'll let you get out of here. Are you real friendly with the guys in U2? Some of them. I know Bono and Ali. How much did they get paid for that yesterday? How much did Apple pay them?
Oh, that I don't know them that well. I don't know them that well. I could ask.
Is that because we were reading something?
I think nothing. I would imagine.
Oh, get out of here!
Oh, really?
Nothing. They're just going to give the record away.
Oh, excuse me for giving the record away. Yeah, I thought the same thing. Excuse me, my brain. I thought you meant to go up and play at Apple because they played
no,
the conference.
no. I meant just to give the record away.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, how does that work?
We were talking this morning. It's either so little that you would go, boy, that's crazy, or it's so incredibly high.
Yeah, it's a good point. I noticed it last night, and I thought the same thing. I'll get back to you on that one.
Is that like $100 million?
There's no way, but why would they do that? There's no way.
All right, you'll figure that out.
I don't know. I mean, I'm with you. I'm just with you. I don't know anything about that.
I'm going to put that on my list of things that Gavin has promised me in the past that never gets resolved.
Yeah, but I'm not sure they would. Why would they ever tell me?
Because you're friends with them.
Well, yeah, but I know them. I know. Yeah.
Drop it in conversation. Hey, man, how's it going? How much you get paid for that?
All right, so I'll never get the answer to that question. I didn't get my tickets to the U.S. Open for this year, and I won't get a custom-made guitar from you. All right, I see where I rank. I see where everything sits. Dude, thank you so much for coming in.
Of course, thanks.
Really appreciate it. Again, the record will be out on the 21st. The full record, Man on the Run, will come out. The single, The Only Way Out, that is available now from Bush. Gavin, thank you very much. Appreciate it as always, my friend.